Welcome to Grater channel. Now, the previous video I sent, I told us that I will try as much as possible to explain some of the agro processing machines displayed on that channel. Now, this afternoon, what you are seeing on the screen is the cassava grater. For some of us intend going into cassava processing, this is one of the essential processing machines for cassava processing. Now, I told us recently that in the cassava processing, we can obtain various agricultural produce. The product from cassava processing itself. We can have our gari, we can have our fufu, the tapioca, starch. They are all products from cassava. The cassava tuber. I don't know what they call it in your own country. But looking at the machine on the screen, like I said, is cassava grater. What cassava grater does is to reduce the cassava tubers into particle or smaller sizes before you take it to the next stage of processing. Now let's look at the functional component part of this cassava grater. At the same time, I will tell us a secret for any one of us intend going into procurement of this type of machines. Now, where problem do comes out when it comes to usage. Now, the first part here is what we call the upper, and this will be very, very important for some of us undergoing a training in agricultural technology or agricultural engineering. This is what we call the cassava upper, the cassava grating upper, or cassava grater upper. Of course, it holds the tuber of cassava. Now, inside is what we call the grating board. I want to believe you can see the grating board. This is the grating board. It is very important to place it there. It's adjustable, and the material we usually use for grating board are wood and Teflon fiber. Those are the two materials. It's adjustable. Looking at the space below, it obviously regulates the clearance between the grating drum. This is the grating drum rotating. It adjusts the clearance between the grating drum, and that will enable us to have the fine particles coming out of the outlet. Now, some of us expect our cassava to come out in a fine form, very without lumps inside. What obviously determines that is the grating drum and the clearance between it and the grating board. So you take note of that. Now, we do have problem when it comes to the construction of the grating drum. Looking at those serrated parts. Now, the moment the technical man handling it failed to ensure that the grating drum, we call it rasper, that once they fail or they do not ensure that it's perfectly rasped on the drum internally. Once you have an undulated part, I must confess to you, you have the uniform grinding of your cassava. It's the art of the cassava grater. They just have to ensure that they do it neatly and perfectly, because it determines the workability of the machines. Now, other essential component part, when we look at it, we have the frame, we have the bearing, and we have the engine seat. Where we have the engine seat here is where we are going to attach your electric motor. Now, the cassava grater could make use of internal combustion engine, which could be petrol engine or diesel engine, and these can at the same time make use of electric motor. Now, they are referred to as prime mover. Once you attach your engine, you makes use of what we call power transmission element to transmit power to the machine itself. We have the pulley on the engine, we have the pulley here, and where we are going to make use of belt to transmit power from the engine here to the cassava grating machines. And before you know what is happening, you introduce your cassava and you start grating your cassava. So thank you so much. You can subscribe for the subsequent agro processing machines.